Hello once again, this is Harvey from Show Me Your Casino, and today we're at the Las Vegas Con Expo. The Con Expo is all about construction. We're going to be here for 3 days. It comes here every 3 years, and I'm so excited about being here, and I'll tell you why. I've worn a lot of hats in my life, and later on I'll explain them to you, but one of my hats is I've been running heavy equipment for most of my life. So I'm excited about being here. So we're going to show you inside what they have from everybody. Caterpillar, John Deere, Case, everybody in the industry is here. And this is why I am loving it being here today, for the simple fact that this is near and dear to my heart on what I used to do. So with no further ado, we're going to go inside and take a look. There's probably going to be about 2 or 3 different segments because it's so big and there's so much to see, and I don't think we're going to get all of it in there, but we'll do the best we can. So if you like what you see and like what you hear, stay with me because there's a lot to see. All right, let's go inside. Like I said, everybody in the industry is here. Attachments, companies from all around the world. As you can see. Here's a shot of some really big tracks. Now I'm going to show you a rake. A brake. That's a pretty good sized tire. Maybe about 15 foot tall.
I will say.
There are some good sized buckets. Big size buckets. From big buckets to little teeny tiny buckets. You name it, it's here. Boy, what a neat little toy. You know what they say, the only difference between the boys and the men is the size of their toys. That's one toy. How about this bad boy for a bucket? Here's something very interesting. That's actually a motor. It's made out of plastic. Here's the front view of it. Here's the side view of it. Interesting. And, now these are some really big jaw breakers. They're breakers for concrete. So when they got big buildings to knock down with concrete, they got a jaw crusher there in the background. And some other equipment over here they come out with. All break. Boy, there's just so much to see here. You just can't fit it all in one day. But this is the John Deere booth outside, so we're going to go take a look and see what they have. But let's go inside. So these are grinders here. In a nutshell, what they do is this, a little mini version of what they have here. They grind that pavement and they load it up on the conveyors into equipment. You can see in the foreground over there some more. So let me go around here and show you in a nutshell what these machines do. These pulverize right in place. These will load trucks. These will grind different depths. And there's a different type of grinder, as well as this one right here. In a nutshell, that's what they do. Let me give you one more shot with some more grinders right here. There's some there in the foreground, and here's some right here up front. There's the conveyor belt. They have small ones and they have great big ones. I have worked under all of them. I have worked on some that load you in 2 minutes and you're out the door. So we can do a lot of massive production. We use these in the airports like LAX. We use them a lot to take out a lot of material real quick. These are grinders. So let's keep moving. Here's another view of the equipment here at John Deere. Those are excavators. These are your rubber tire loaders. And in the background, back there is a motor grader. That's the bad boy of the bad boys. I get a chance to run those once in a while. Coming back, more loaders, skid steers, and those orange colored ones, those are rollers. That's for asphalt compaction. There's a view again. So we're going to keep making our way around. So let's keep moving. Okay, so this is the creme de la creme on motor graders. Give a little shout out to my friend Donnie. You miss it? He used to run these machines, and I get a chance once in a while to run them, but they're just a beautiful machine to run. Beautiful. Here is a portable batch plant. A lot of times you'll see these on the side of the freeway. So when they're mixing hot concrete with fly ash in it, they'll put it in that drum, and the trucks line up right there, and they'll pour it in the dump trucks so they can pour it real quick on the freeway. But these are portable batch plants. The dump truck right here, they're fun to drive. Over here we got a line of dozers, mid-range. Here's a portable screener with a crusher. What it does, it can separate 3/4 inch rock, pea gravel, sand, all in one shot. It'll separate all three of the items and make different stockpiles. It's good for little sand pits who sell material like this. It separates 3 different rocks. Pretty neat, all in one shot. Now these are super duper extended conveyor belts. See that one there? Gosh, that's for big crusher sites. They got big stockpiles. They can extend it way out there to start their piles and work their way around. Let me see if I can walk and show you a little more of it. So as we're coming forward here, so as the pile gets bigger, these tires right here can move this big old honking conveyor belt over a couple more feet. So when the pile reaches to the very top of that, they move it to the left or the right just a little bit, and they continue on with making more stockpile. Usually it's recrushed rock, recycled. That's what they use it for. This is for big, big jobs. And these tires on here, you see they're kind of oval. What happens is they move in a rotation where it'll keep the pile going in a circular stockpile type of thing. All right, let's keep moving on. So here's a drilling rig. It drills through everything, concrete, dirt, you name it. And what they do is these are the bits that go over there at the bottom of it. And when they finish drilling the hole, they put the dynamite in there. And a lot of times you'll see videos of explosions simultaneously. It's from a long time, them doing the drilling and making the holes for it so they can break the hard face of the rock to a different size. So it's easier and better to manage. That's what that is. So we're going to move on over here. To the paving machines. I got to tell you, paving machines are not complicated, but they're well designed. But boy, when it's 110 out, 115 degrees, and this asphalt gets delivered at 350 degrees, and you're working in that hot sun, boy, it is hot working around all this stuff here. So as we come over here, it'll extend out beyond what it's originally set up to be here. Those chrome cylinders right there push it all the way out, I think almost 4 feet on both sides, and they can move it in and out, depending on which way they're going. A lot of them, they have lasers on them now, and I've got to run this a couple times for a company, and I actually had a lot of fun. It's a good way to warm up a burrito on a cold morning. Just put it right there, and it'll warm it up real quick. Now, there it is. There's the seat for the captain. He can switch sides depending on which way he wants to look and see. But yep, these are paving machines. So let's keep moving on. This is what you call a crusher. So what happens is all your broken concrete or asphalt, even raw material, gets dumped into there, and inside there it just breaks up all the big pieces into smaller pieces. And then once it reaches a certain size, the conveyor will shoot it out into the stockpile. That's called a crusher. And there's a shot of that real long conveyor belt. So when it all comes out, it goes on that conveyor belt and they shoot it out into the stockpile. Here's a portable asphalt plant. So all the material goes up into the silo up there, nice and hot. And this bad boy right here is a trailer full of hot oil. And so they do the mix on it. Sometimes they bring in portable plants to do rubberized asphalt. It's real sticky when it goes down. Sometimes they got a little sand truck that sprays sand on top of the hot asphalt, and then the rollers can get on it without the rubber sticking to the drum. It looks, when it goes down, brand new, but when they put the sand on it and they start rolling it, the ground looks like it's old. But it gets a quieter sound on the asphalt, and so technology's come a long way with recycling. They will actually use tires and cut them all up. And like I said over there, we're living in the recycling age, so that recycles concrete and asphalt. And this one here, as a rubberized plant, will receive rubberized pellets from tires being cut up into chunks, and they'll put it all in the mix for rubberized asphalt. So let's keep moving on. Hey, what do you know? There's my crib, Westgate. That's where I stay. That's my home away from home. All right, here's a bad boy right here, rubber tire loader. I've driven these. They're a lot of fun. Long way up, long way down. And let me just show you what size the tires are. I'm going to stand right next to it. Let me turn the camera around and I'll show you. Okay, so here's the size tire. Hey man, I'm 6'6", and look how bigger this one is. And if you believe me that I'm 6'6", I got some property I want to show you in the desert. Big tires for this bad boy. Let's take one more look. Okay, these are called mini excavators, obviously for the size that they are. But let's keep walking over here, and then as you can see, they're getting bigger and bigger. And then here's some more minis. And then over here, here's the bad boy right here. These are the bigger ones. And what they say, the difference between boys and men is the size of their toys. And yep, these are the bigger ones right here. My friend Lefty, I'm going to give him a shout out. He runs these, and he runs them real efficiently. So he's a Mini X and an excavating operator. Now we're going to keep moving on. We're going to go inside now and take a look, see what's there. So there's a lot to see, so let's just keep moving. Okay, we started at the Diamond Hall, and we moved over to the Silver Lot, and now we're over here at the North Hall to check out. Let's see what's in here. And then I think we're going to end up over the Central Hall for today. So we'll see. Let's keep moving. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're here with Rodney Patterson, and he's going to tell us all about doorknobs. So what do we have here, Rodney?
So
Yes, and we are a supplier of access hardware, so handles, latches, hinges, gas springs, anything that has to do with opening and closing access.
Wow.
Any truck bed,
Okay.
any utility vehicles, emergency vehicles, fire trucks, stuff like that.
Okay.
We also do sealing profile and sealed gasketing material if you're trying to keep out water or dust from getting into the toolboxes.
All right, I see.
And we're basically out of Minneapolis, Minnesota is our headquarters.
Ooh.
I know, it's so cold. And then my office out of the Plano, Dallas, Texas location.
I got to ask you this because are you a Vikings fan?
Oh my goodness. I am not.
Oh, good. 'Cause I was going to tell you, my son-in-law, their whole family, they're the Bears fans.
Really?
And oh man, the family goes back and forth because one's a Viking fan and the other one's a Chicago Bear fan. And I'll tell you, it gets into some heated discussions and making fun of each other. But that's okay. I'll let you off the hook.
Thank you so much.
Okay. All right, man.
Well, thanks for stopping by.
I appreciate it, man.
All right.
Okay, this stuff here is what they call false shoring. So when they're building a bridge, this helps to set up the mold on how they're going to form the bridge. So we're going to come over and take a look at a video that they have here so you can see what I'm talking about. You can see right here how the false shoring goes, how they build the bridges. So let's watch this. So the platforms, many different styles and many different sizes. But in a nutshell, this is what this is. I'm going to pan around again so you can see how that works. But it's very, very interesting. All right, so let me pan around and show you. Different styles of false shoring. All aluminum, lightweight, and that's how they end up building bridges. And then when they are all done, they just lower them down and reset them to another place. So here we are again. Let me move on to another one. I see another one over here. So let's take a look. There's the false shoring right there. Very, very interesting. See there how they're building a bridge? And you can see how that shoring works really nice. Here's some more video of false shoring. Yeah, I got some questions for you. I ain't got a clue what this is. What is it?
It's your next fishing boat.
Next fishing boat.
No, it's used for marine surveying.
Marine surveying. Okay.
Correct. So, and I like to divide it into three little branches from the umbrella. The first one being bathymetric surveying, which is depth data. Sure. Next one would be hydrological surveying. So you use these ADCP sensors, and that tells you, flow, velocity, and discharge and direction of flowing water, whether it's rivers or, maybe a dam release or snow melt runoff in a river. And then we also can do, with our SVP, our sound velocity profiler over here, that allows you to check water quality. So you can look at salinity, you can look at pressure, you can look at temperature, you can look at spot-specific velocities. So it's really cool.
Yeah. Is it remote control or?
It is remote control. So what those remote controls look like is you can actually see one right here. So this is gives us a distance of 1.5 miles. But if we put a SIM card in the controller, put a SIM card in the boat, as long as we have cell service, we can actually operate the boat wherever.
So it won't take off on you if it wants to, huh?
It won't, and if it wants, even if it does lose connection when you're actually doing like a survey, let's say I don't have my SIM cards in, you can actually set it to where, if the batteries get low, it'll go to its home point, or if it loses connection, it'll go to its home point, which at that point, it would regain connection because you would have it go back to where a good location close to you.
So has this technology been around for a while, or is it relatively new?
The technology itself has been around for a while. The autonomous version of it is still relatively new, I would say.
I see, okay.
Yep.
Wow.
So, because people have, but it's meant to expedite the traditional survey workflows of manned crews.
And what we're looking at right here, it's just a small-scaled model, right?
This is the actual model.
Oh, this is the actual size.
This is the actual size of one of our 6.1. This is the Apache 6. So this utilizes a Norbit multi-beam on the bottom, which is a renowned brand for their scanners.
And what's underneath your motor? Or
So this is one of our props. So you can actually see it. This helps us turn on a dime a little bit more because it's a bigger unit.
Is it gas or is it electric?
Electric. It's
huh?
electric. You get about 2 hours per 2 to 3 hours per charge at 2 meters a second, or just under 5 miles an hour.
Okay, so this surveying is like when they want to, like they want to build a bridge and they want to put the pylons in the ground,
Sure.
in the water. It gives them the depth and everything.
It gives them the depth. It gives them the terrain. It gives them a very comprehensive view of the topography. Correct.
On 3D too.
3D. So what? To give you an example, it is 3D though. What our data set would look like is something like this. So you can see, based on the colorization, the different elevations of these bodies. So
Very, very interesting product.
very cool. I just like playing with toys, man. What can I say?
Hey.
And looking at cool data.
You know what they say? There's an old saying, right? It's not the size of the toys the boys play. It's just, you know, it is what it is. So it's a
Yeah.
fun toy to play with.
Oh yeah. My goal is to catch a fish off one of them, maybe. You know, pull some fishing line and some swim baits.
There you go. Thanks for your time. I appreciate it, man.
Not a problem. Harvey,
All right, yeah.
Tristan, nice to meet you.
Same here. All right, good luck.
Hey, thank you. I hope you have a great exhibition.
Thank you. So here's some more attachment companies that they have for different applications. Boy, that one boat scene was pretty neat. The way they do all the depth and measuring in the meanwhile. Okay, this bad boy right here can pick up branches or pick up big boulders, and you can use one side at a time if you want. And here's another one that goes on a smaller machine called a grappler, and it's got 2 cylinders on it, so you can use both of them at the same time or one at a time. Smaller one right here. There's the broom, cleaning up afterwards. That's an attachment. You can go on a skid steer, like a bobcat. Boy, that looks like a little, oh, you know what that probably is for? Ice. Yeah, for ice. There's an auger over there. Nice attachments. Just keep moving. Here's some more attachments. Looks like a lot of stuff for skid steers. Jenkins is the name of the company. Again, see there's the grapplers right here. Forklift attachment. That one's got a boom on it. Over there, that guy's leaning on. That's got a little dozer attachment. Grappler again. This is for cleaning the side of the freeways, all the grubbing. That's what that's for. There's a pulverizer right there for pulverizing the ground. And here's a rotor tilling for a stump. A lot of interesting products. My grandson would be able to run this. I don't know how. Let's keep moving. So here's a water wagon, water trucks, storage tanks company. Okay, so these tankers right here, the fire hydrant fills them up. And the reason for that is when they're full capacity, they can load a water truck, probably of this size right here, in just a matter of minutes. So while this truck is out watering the ground, this water tanker over here keeps filling up. And like these right here, they can get filled up. That's, I think, a 6,000 gallon tanker. And that's probably about a 20,000 gallon tanker. And this one here is probably about I'd say about 12,000 gallon. And so it fills them up real quick, so you don't have to waste so much time, especially on big production jobs. So that's what this is all about. And there's some of the. Now here's some interesting products. All these go on skid steers. They're attachments. And the one that's got my attention is this one over here. I'm going to show it to you. There's this one right here. It's got a side chair for the moldboard. It's probably about 10 foot wide. The front end almost looks like a blade. But what gets me, if you put this on a skid steer, how's the visibility? That'd be yet to be told. It looks interesting, very interesting. Let's keep moving on. So a lot of these videos I've been showing you on attachments, this is where the attachments go on skid steers like this. They're becoming more and more popular in the construction industry for compact work. So what happens is, right here is the main frame for the machine, and over here is where the attachment hooks onto it. And then I think this one's got hydraulics. Usually they have a lever you can pull, and it locks it in place. This one looks like it's got a hydraulic setup that locks it in place. So what they do is they come in there and scoop up on it and bring it up, and it locks it in place. And you can use the attachment for many different things. So it looks like this one's set up for like a dozer. I'm kind of curious as to what the seating is like as far as visual. But this is a dozer application, but like I was showing you a lot of different ones. There's a lot that can go on these things here. So some of these attachments I didn't show you this is where they go on these type of machines. So okay, so this machine here has been making a lot of notoriety in the construction industry. So you can see the tire up there from one elevation to one extreme over here, and so it can go over slopes and level out and everything. So here's a little video on it. So let's take a look and see how it works.
This was telling you.
It's got many attachments. So there's another one right there in the foreground. So this type of machine is making a lot of headlines at the show here. So it can go over slopes and stuff like that. So all right, let's keep moving on. Okay, so these are implements that go on a dredging machine. This one goes in the water and into the ground, and as it turns, it sucks up the material, and it gets siphoned up to a hose, and it makes landfall, and it gets spewed over onto the land. And this is how they make sometimes the bays or it a little bit deeper, and at the same time they're making new landfall for, like what they did in Dubai, building those the Palm Islands. These would go in the water and they dredge the bottom of the floor and they'd suck it up and they'd spew it over the big old honking water cannon, and in all that water has got that sand and silt that comes from right here, and it gets sucked up and goes, and that's how they form an island, and that's how they dredge the harbors and make them deeper. So even like the Mississippi, it keeps filling up with silt, and it keeps making the water rise. So in order not to have the water rise, they take and put these in the ground there, and with lasers and with other types of technology they use, they can skim the bottom and stay on track to where they're cutting the material in line. So it's a pretty interesting product here. So check this out. That gets dumped in all those crushers you've seen outside. The big pieces turn into these little pieces. And here's where it goes right there. Oh boy. You know what they say about boys' toys? This is just a great example of how the crusher works. Pretty neat. Look at this little guy. You like that? You like that? Huh? I'm a big boy and I like it too. I bet you he likes it too, huh? Oh, look at that. That's neato. Don't get any better than this. This is not your average saw blade. This is for like saw cutting 24 to 36 inches of concrete thick, like on freeways and airport runways, because they're poured really thick. When they have to do the removal, they have to put a saw blade about this big to go in there and saw it. Here we go. Now Okay, so this is Aztec Mining. They build assortment of type of machines, including hot asphalt plants. Let's go see if we can. Here, usually have some really small models that are really, really cute. Full-scale models of some different types of plants that people can purchase. So all right, so we found them. These are small-scale models of what a real asphalt plant. They're always a crowd pleaser here. So they're miniaturized, but they're to the scale. These are hoppers right here, where the material goes in there. Sometimes 3/4 rock, pea gravel, and sand, and they do the mixing. It goes in there. It goes in the conveyor belt here, and it screens it. Hits all the big rock that's not supposed to be in there, and it goes up the conveyor belt. And here's a silo where eventually the asphalt ends up. So let's take a look over here. These are some very big furnaces, if you would. Here is where everything gets dried, so to speak, before it goes into the main tumbler. And so that right there is a ventilating shaft. Any impurities goes in there, and it dust free as it comes back out. And so then when it's finally ready for asphalt, this is what the inside of the drum looks like. So you can't really see it in real life, but that's what the inside looks like. That's what's so neat about these scale models that they got here, built to scale. They're always a crowd pleaser. Man, just down to scale, but on a smaller size. So there's where the hot asphalt goes up and in to the silos. And they have warmers in there to keep the asphalt warm. Sometimes they'll have 3/4, they'll have pea gravel, they'll have school mix, and sometimes even the rubberized asphalt, all in 4 different drums. So that's where they come in on top and they're stored. And then what happens here is the trucks roll under and they get on the scale there where the mirrors are at. And the operator from the building right over there, as you can see right here, can see everything that's going on. And he can weigh out the trucks on the amount of asphalt that they can haul legally on the highway. And then once they're loaded, off they go. So over here is the holding tanks for oil that goes through the whole system. Just very interesting. So you don't get to see this too often when you're out on a job. And there's all the plumbing, everything looks down to scale. Oh, it's so neat. It's really a crowd pleaser every time they do this. And so this is what an asphalt plant looks like on a smaller scale. And you can see that man walking by, how small things are. But they're true to life, and the size and the way they're built and designed. They're like I said, they're always a crowd pleaser on how it works on asphalt plants. And this is just one style. They have many different styles too. So if we find another one, we're gonna let you see it. So this is Aztec Asphalt Products. So let's keep moving. Okay, so next up, this is what they call a shuttle buggy. The truck will back up into this and dump its load, and these lights are indicators how he lines up himself when he backs up underneath this thing and dumps his load. And then what happens is this asphalt goes up in there to the shuttle buggy, and this thing is just humongous. And inside here, you can see the size of the tire by this young man right here. The tires are really big. This singing machine is really, really big. And what happens is all that asphalt the truck dumps, they can dump about 4 loads of asphalt into this drum right here. And what it does, it shuttles back and forth to the paving machine, which I'll show you in a minute. So again, here's where the hopper right here, it comes out of here and it dumps into the barber green or the paving machine. So I'm going to take you over there right now to show you. But it is big in size. These machines barely fit underneath freeway bridges when they're loaded up on low beds. That's how tall this thing is. So let's go down and see the paving machine. Remember about the hopper in the back. Okay, the hopper's right there. I'm going to show you where that dumps right into. So let's make our way down here. No, there's another bad boy right there. That's the paving machine. So that conveyor belt will dump the load right into here. I'll show you. I'm coming around, make my way around these people here, and it dumps right into here. Okay, and usually they have see the painted white. They usually have a big round drum. It's really high, and the shuttle buggy dumps the material into the bin. So they don't really use these sides right here. But anyways, they'll take and just use the drum, and with these conveyor belts right here, keeps taking the material up into the machine. And the reason for this is they can do production, high volume production on tonnage, and that's their bottom line, making money. And so the more they can do, the more they can profit. So all this machinery comes together in play to maximize their profits on doing massive paving jobs, like on the freeway most of the time. So that's a shuttle buggy back there, and this is the paving machine. And we already showed you the hot asphalt plant, how all ties together. So here's the back end of this paving machine. You see how wide it is? I bet you this one's maybe about 24 foot wide. Your average concrete lanes are 12 foot wide, but this will go wider than that. It'll collapse all the way in to right about right there, and it'll come right all the way out there. So that's like maybe another 6 more feet of ram to come out. And then these augers right here, these are augers right there. Those augers turn, and what it does, it brings the material out. And then these rams right here, these panels, they go in and out. So if they want to bring the material further out, they bring these panels out, and the material just keeps coming this way till it finally gets to the outside edge right out here, which I'll show you right now. So, and there it is. The material will eventually go all the way across. And then these right here are lasers. And what they're doing, they're reading the ground up and down within a tenth. No, actually that's 200ths. And then even a tenth you can mark where they can have it. But most of the time it's down to a tenth, which is less than a quarter of an inch. And so what this laser is doing is bouncing off the ground. And what it's doing is readjusting the grade level on the paving machine. So it's, it's a fine art. And this is a big, and they got a side. The seat comes out and beyond. That must be new. That's pretty neat. That is really neat. You can see that it comes out to the side right here on this one. So you can see outside instead of sitting right on top. And there's a left side and a right side, depending on which side you're working on. So again, this is the bin right here. So you know the rest of the story, what I'm telling you. Oh, let's go see the big grinder that we were talking about earlier outside. This is a bigger one right here. So let's take a look. Oh, this is interesting. See this bad boy right here? Again, there's the lasers reading the ground, and then they set the adjustment on it right here. There's the machine right here, and they'll press it, they'll set in the dial it in, how much they want to go down. They want to go down a tenth. Sometimes they do header cuts where they barely etch the ground. Sometimes they'll go down a foot, depending. So, and then sometimes they'll do it at an angle because you've got 2% on pavement on the streets. And so here's the back end, and you can see these big old honking teeth, and those things there etch the ground and actually chomp up the asphalt. And what it does, it comes out. Yeah. And there's the ladder for the captain's seat. And right here, it all gets grounded up, comes up the belt here into a secondary belt, and then that conveyor right there, it'll move as they need it to load the trucks. And he'll honk the horn to have the truck move. And as he moves, and they'll honk it again, they'll stop. Because sometimes, if they're cutting very light material, it'll move really fast. But if they're doing a real deep cut, these tracks will go real slow, so the truck doesn't have to move that much. It all varies on how much they're going to cut. So yeah, this is one of the grinders that we were showing you outside. So, man, this one's a big one too. This one's really big. So, man, they got it all right here. Nice, nice, nice. So that's what we got here with the asphalt plants here. I like this. This is a lot of technology that I'm familiar with and work around with all the time in my business. So here it is. Let's keep moving on. Okay, so we're going to end it here today. There's still a lot to see. Tomorrow's another day. So we'll continue this on another segment. So if you like what you've seen, like what you heard, please subscribe to my channel. And we'll see you on the next one, like tomorrow. All right, goodbye.